Hello, how are you today? Welcome to our next class. And yeah, we're still looking at algebra as a topic and finishing up with some basic principles and the rows. And we have so far looked at about 6 principles. And today we want to proceed and look at the other principles. And this is 7 to those who are following up with the video. And now today we want to look at something. Say when you have a certain bracket but with different numbers, and these numbers are being multiplied. So when you have a times b, and all these two numbers have a certain power, say the power is n. In math, this is the same as you have in a power n times b power n. Say the power n has to affect every number or base that is inside our bracket. So when someone has look at a number, so when you have a number of 2 into 1 minus x, this has maybe power half. So some of these numbers you can look up for them in that Backhouse textbook and you see them, and you have something like that. So a bracket to 2 to another bracket of 1 minus x, and this has a power to that. How does this do? So roughly what you're saying, this is my a, this is my a, this bracket is my b, and what you're saying that our n has to affect a and n will have to affect b. So in math, this would yield something to do with a 2 power 2 into, we can still leave it under a bracket, it's okay, 1 minus x, a half times 2. That power comes in. This is another, so this is by 2, it can be 1, so 1 times 1. And what you're left with is 2 squared, that is a 4 into a 1 minus x. And that will be our answer. These numbers, we shall apply them up front as we continue studying. And another rule, which will be our 8th rule, so when you have a over b power n, yeah, division, this is multiplication, division. How do you get about it? This you are saying, it is the same as having a affected by the same power, b is also affected by the same what? Power. For example, if you have a number, e.g., I hope you're following up. In case of any questions, you can hit our inboxes and reach out through the portal and you ask whatever you need to know. This is 2 over 3 power. It can be power a half. It's okay. We have already looked at the fractions and stuff. So this will be 2 power half over 3 power half. This, any other person who has done those numbers from the previous video, you know, this will be the square root of 2 over the square root of what? 3. And that would be it. So, and then lastly, under rows, what we would look at would be now under rows of indices. That's my 9th one. These are slightly irregular numbers. Say, ask you to find the value. Find the value of numbers like when you have a 27 over 8, this is power negative 2 over 3. How do you get about such numbers? Yeah, these numbers, we are basically going to use the other rule of when you have our a power negative n, if you call this number without a denominator, has a denominator 1 already, and you agree this is the same as getting just the inverse of 1 power n, of course, over a power n. 1 power n is still 1, so we are just going to get the inverse of what is in the bracket, and that will be it. So it is the same thing that will happen to this number, and then we shall get the inverse of the number in. So this one will be, if we look at this, we shall have 8 over 27, so it's 8 over 27. The number down goes up, and then the number on top comes down over, then this one will become a positive. The power becomes a positive. Sure, I'm basically using this rule here. A power negative n, then we are getting the inverse. The denominator becomes the numerator. The numerator becomes the denominator. Then from there, you can use different formulas. You see how best you can reduce this number until you solve it out. Basically for me, I'll use the prime factors. So when you have 8, and I'm going to use the common one, which is a 2, by 2, 4, still a 2, by 2, 4 will be 2, then 2, 1. So I have 8 is equivalent to 2 power 3. Then how about 27? 27, I hope you can still see what I'm doing. By maybe 3 as the prime factor too. Then by 3, like 27 into 3, so we shall have something to do with by 3, this will become a 9 somewhere. 3 still, it's now 3, 3, 3, 1. So what we have is 27 will equal to 3 power what? 3 power 3. If you put it to the calculator, it still comes out. So we come back to the number. So instead of using what we had before, we shall use these as powers. So this is 2 power 3 over 3 power 3, all this under a bracket of 2 over 3. And we shall come and use the other first rule that we used of so the rule of a power b to n, and it said our a is affected by the n and b also affected by the n. And from there, what you have next is basically when I run it too fast, it is a 2 power 3 times 2 power 3 over 3 power 3 times 2 over 3. So the 3 and 3 cancels, so we shall have this and this cancel, this and that cancel out, and what we have is now a 2 squared over 3 squared. And what will be your final answer here? It will be 4 over 9. Yep, thank you for today. Then you can wait for the next video as we shall look at other numbers. But maybe for the case of the ones who want to try out some numbers, you can try out a number for me, a number that is in the form of, say, 16 out of 81, and this has a power of negative 1 over 4. And you can submit in your answers or in case any question about it, and I'll be humble to respond back. Thank you.